GDF to launch Aviation School. Lawyers arrest unconstitutional. And why you should be concerned about this new proposed law. I'm Enrico Bolford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp, 592-659-6151. The Guyana Defense Force plans to establish an aviation school to train military and civilian pilots for the local and Caribbean markets by the first quarter of 2024. The school will be run by the Air Corps of the GDF and is projected to be one of the most modern and advanced aviation schools in the Caribbean. The school will train military, security, and civilian pilots and will take advantage of retired aviators from the Air Corps and others throughout the Caribbean. PNCR members are trying to shake things up as the party is facing calls to hold general council meetings which have been delayed for almost a year due to uncertainties about contesting the local government elections. The PNCR chairman said a meeting was, quote, in the pipeline, but no date has been set. The PNCR's General Council will see the exit of several old faces following the local government elections. The Housing Ministry is seeking to acquire additional lands, especially in Region 4, to meet the increasing demand for house lots and land for industrial activities. Lands have already been identified in some regions, but in others, there is still a search to acquire new lands. The focus for this year will be on Regions 1, 3, 4, 6, and a portion of 5, with areas of Regions 7 and 10 already identified. So, sounds like 9 and 2 is noticeably not included. Nonetheless, developing lands closer to conservancies requires more resources and increased costs. But over $36 billion in contracts have been awarded for new housing area development in the past months. Over in the world of education, the Ministry of Education has announced a new policy that will provide a well-rounded secondary education for students, including learning to play a musical instrument, participating in sports and volunteer activities, learning a foreign language, and undergoing technical and vocational education and training. Attorney-at-law Tamika Clark's arrest by SOCU last year for advising her client to remain silent was a breach of her constitutional rights, according to Acting Chief Justice Roxanne George, which means the High Court has ruled in her favor in Clark's case against the state. Clark's mobile phone was also seized by SOCU without lawful excuse. An attorney admitted to practice in Guyana can advise their client to remain silent when questioned by any lawful enforcement agency and can consult with them in private without being recorded. The Chief Justice ruled that an attorney can also advise their client to exercise the right to remain silent when questioned by any law enforcement agency in Guyana. The court will determine damages at a later date. Over the weekend, a fire on Saffron Street in Georgetown destroyed at least 2 buildings, including a supermarket and a meat center, causing millions of dollars in losses. The cause of the fire is still under investigation, but it is suspected to have started in the supermarket. The Board of Inquiry into the fatal shooting of GDF soldier Damon has been completed and made recommendations which include counseling for soldiers and the availability of psychologists. The GDF is working towards preventing similar incidents and some recommendations have already been acted upon. Private Damon was shot and killed by his colleague Private Morrison on June 12th after an argument while on guard duties. Morrison was charged with murder and remanded to prison. The Caribbean Development Bank approved a $76.2 million loan to the government of Guyana for the Guyana Water Supply Improvement Project, which will upgrade the water supply systems serving 5 coastal communities, which will supply nearly 15,000 households. The initiative is one of the first to be carried out under the CDB's Guyana Country Engagement Strategy.
Attention truck owners. Between potholes, bad drivers, and high fuel prices, you've got 99 problems to deal with. But with Powered Automotive, your engine ain't one. That's because they stock high-quality parts and spares you need at prices you can't beat. Visit them at Lot 491 EE Eccles, or call or WhatsApp them at telephone number 6970171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana.
Tired of waiting on hold, tracking down a delivery driver, or carrying cash for your food orders? GTEats is here to make your life easier. Guyana's first cashless food ordering and delivery app. Choose from Georgetown's top restaurants, pay securely with your card, and get your food delivered right to your doorstep. With the convenience of being able to order from your phone and the added feature of tracking your order, GTEats is the ultimate solution for all your food needs. Download the app on Apple and Android stores and start ordering the easy way today.
Now for today's oil update. Ghana's Natural Resource Fund received 2 payments of profit oil totaling US $150 million in June, bringing the total oil revenues received by the nation to US $658 million in the first half of the year. The government is projected to receive approximately US $1.63 billion for the full year, with most of the remainder coming from profit oil payments. The government has withdrawn US $400 million from the fund to support the 2023 national budget. I know it's been a while, so I gotta give you a stupid news. You know what I think is stupid? Citizens needlessly giving up their right to privacy. That's why I'm deeply concerned about the proposed amendments to Ghana's anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism legislation. It may appear beneficial at first glance. However, it is crucial to consider the potential risk to personal liberty and the potential for abuse that such laws can create. While targeting the proceeds of crime may seem like an effective strategy, broadening asset forfeiture powers can lead to abuses of power and violations of personal property rights. World history has shown instances where such laws have been misused, targeting innocent individuals and depriving them of their assets without due process. For example, in the United States, civil asset forfeiture laws have been used to seize property from individuals never charged with a crime, leading to instances of innocent people losing their homes, vehicles, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in savings just because one officer decided, hey, I don't like you, I'm taking your money. I'm also concerned because from what I've read so far, there's a lack of clear safeguards giving far too much power to unelected committees that will be directly selected by the executive branch of government. Granting significant powers to regulatory bodies or commissions can result in a concentration of power that will become susceptible to abuse. And basically, you are legalizing the president's ability to be able to rob you. It makes no sense. Now, in the case of the proposed Compliance Commission in Ghana, there's a risk that the Commission's authority could be misused to target specific industries or individuals based on political or personal motivations. We've seen this happen over and over again. It's also important to address gaps in regulatory oversight, but the establishment of a Compliance Commission to regulate unregulated industries should be approached cautiously, because excessive regulation and supervision will actually start to affect economic growth, because it's crucial to strike a balance between oversight and allowing businesses to operate and thrive without undue interference. So, while it's important to strengthen our legislation in Guyana to combat crime and bring the nation in line with international standards, it's essential to consider the potential risk to personal liberty and the potential of abuse. Striking a balance between effective law enforcement and protecting personal liberties is crucial for any democracy, and if you can't see the value in that, that is pretty stupid.
Robbery season might be over, but the streets are still mean. That's why you need to get security for your home or business with Sheriff Security. Sheriff Security has well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, canine services. They speed leaving our drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest. Now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today.
Now for our Uncut News Viewers Poll Question of the Day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Ghana, the region, the diaspora, and how you fear it this was. On Friday, I asked about concerns over the new proposed changes to the anti-money laundering laws. You've heard my concerns, let's hear yours.
But before we get to that, I'm proud to announce our latest addition to the Noble Army, Richard Singh, who is supporting us at the reporter level, the highest level of monthly support we've received so far. So thank you, Richard Singh. And also a special thank you to David Griffith, Dion Nascimento, Project Zero, and Dimitri V. I appreciate you all. And if you're watching at home and you'd like to support our movement, just hit the link in the video description.
Conrad Thomas says, the police seizing assets obtained by criminal means isn't something new, but it can become harmful if it's politicized. We all see evidence of political influence in the day-to-day operations of the police force. I think about the impact it can have on our democracy. I think that legal minds should have the final say on what to seize and what not to. If you leave it to the police to decide, we might not like the results. That's what I'm saying, it's legalized state-sanctioned robbery. And finally, Dopamine says, a waste of time. The police already have lots of laws that can be used to better the country. But, indeed, they choose to selectively enforce them. Before we get to tonight's question, I want to know, how's the sound quality? I just bought a new microphone, so Noriko's got to know if it was worth it or were the Amazon reviews just a lie. So, thank you, subscribers, by the way, for helping me to buy this new microphone. And if you'd like to help us out further, just click the link in the description. We'll really appreciate it, seriously. Now for tonight's question. Now that we've completed election season, I want to know, how do you feel about the 2025 general and regional elections? Do you think it'll be a clean sweep for the PPP, or will a third force enter parliament and force them into a minority government? Or will the PNC somehow get its act together and win? I mean, where did things have happened? Y'all say Guyana's not a real place. Anyway, I want to know. So, think about that question and toss in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out on Thursday for another. Until then, I'm Noriko Bulford saying, sorry for the sudden absence, but there's only one Noriko. Till then, stay safe, folks.